TJ, let's go back to draft night. You're waiting in the wings to announce the Bengals third round pick. Somebody hands you a card and you see the name Jermaine Burton, this guy you've worked with for the last 4 years. What was your reaction?
I I was shocked, man. I was shocked because you don't expect any of that to happen. And so when I saw the name, I look at the card and I'm like, wait, there ain't no way. And so I was backstage and I actually got video of it. Me and Maine got on FaceTime when I was backstage. And
Yeah.
literally, as I'm getting ready to walk out, I'm like, I'm gonna call you after. I gotta go announce it. Like it literally went that way. And it was good though, because I've known Maine. I actually met him when he was at Calabasas High, but we didn't really know each other. We met, but I didn't really know him. He didn't know me. Then he came out when he was with Georgia, worked with me a day or so. Didn't really know him either then. And then it was a couple years ago where we really like honed in and spent a lot of time together. And like I got to know May a lot, not from a just as a person and as a man, is that I mean, we done had conversations of things outside of football. So when I saw that, I was happy for him because we had a talk prior to the draft. It doesn't matter where you go. It's what you do when you get there. And Maine is a first round talent. Everybody know that. He know that. He's a first round talent. And so if he plays up to his ability and his talent, the Bengals got a steal for sure. But yeah, when I saw his name, I was shocked, man. I couldn't believe it.
So, Jermaine, let me go back to the timeline. Before the rest of us saw TJ on TV announce the pick, you had received the phone call from the Bengals and FaceTimed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it went down.
Yeah, no. So I got the call, and then TJ called me.
I got video.
Okay.
I got video of like somebody from the NFL actually recorded me talking to him. And he sent me that video. It's a pretty neat behind the scenes type of thing because he recorded it. And yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, they gave me the call, and to be completely honest, I wasn't even in the room with the rest of my family and friends. I was actually sitting in the other room on the bed alone, and I was just thinking to myself because I was slipping, and it was just hitting me like so much reality was hitting me at once, and I was like, this draft process is real deal, like, and so all I could just think is just that, like, bro, like, what, like, I didn't know what was going on because I know my talent, I know myself, and I know who I am as a person. So when I was just slipping, and I'm seeing a lot of other guys go before me, it was sparking a lot of hunger in me, honestly. So at that point, after past all that stuff, I didn't care if I went fourth, fifth, sixth. I didn't care anymore. I just wanted a team to call me. And so yeah, when I was just sitting down, I remember before I got up and went into the room, I looked at the next few picks. It said something like Denver, this. It was like three. I didn't see the Bengals coming up. So I'm sitting in the room and I'm just sitting. I'm like, man, like, bro, what? I'm like, I thought this always was all about talent. Like, I'm like, bro, what they got going on? Like, I'm just sitting there just mad at myself. Like, and out of nowhere, I see the Cincinnati, Ohio number call me, and I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, the Bengals got a pick coming up. Like, I'm like, hold on, bro. Like, so I sat up straight and I answered the phone, and it was Zach Taylor, and I was just sitting there, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, I'm like, bet. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. You feel me? I honestly feel like I couldn't have went into a better position. I just think it's crazy how God really works out things, and I don't care what pick I could have been anywhere, first, second, or anything. I feel like if I would have known I was going to this team right here at that pick, I would have picked that from the jump. And especially after, knowing what I know now and being here and knowing how this, team really operates, an organization as a whole. So, yeah, I can't even explain how this situation is for me. I'm blessed, and, I wouldn't rather be nowhere else.
TJ, hearing him describe that wait, did that sound familiar? Obviously, you had to wait even longer.
It's frustrating, but at the end of it doesn't matter, man. Like,
it don't.
There's going to be some guys that were drafted in the first round that can't play. We all know that. Second round, the same. But it's going to be some guys drafted after Maine that everybody's going to say, why didn't he get drafted higher? It's an inexact science. Jermaine's in the perfect spot. You would a quarterback that's one of the best in the league. You would a group of offensive coaches and Zach Taylor and Pincher that they understand how to put guys in positions to be successful. And so it's on you now. And so it's on Maine to make sure he's in a type of shape. He understands the offense. And it was crazy because after he got drafted, we get on the field and I was shocked. Like, we going through formations. I'm yelling at the formations and he just lining up like bow, bow, bow. I'm like, damn, you know this already? Like, and so he was locked in. As soon as they drafted and they sent him the playbook, and no lie, we got on the field and he was able to line himself up. And he had just got the playbook. So I said, okay, it means something. Like that right there showed me he was investing in himself. And so all he got to do is make the plays. You got the quarterback, you got other receivers and Jamar and T that's going to take a ton of the attention. Mm-hmm. And when y'all see this boy this boy is born to play. He's way faster than the 40 time that he ran. I don't know what he was thinking and what he was doing, but he's so explosive. He's big. And so, like, he's one of the top receivers in the country coming out of high school. He was one of the top receivers in the country in college when you look at his yards per catch. To me, it's where you go. And if you can go play with Joe Burrow, I would walk from Cincinnati to California if I could do that, or vice versa, from California to Cincinnati. If I can, Joe Burrow going to be my quarterback, well, let me get this backpack and some water. I'm going to go ahead and hit this freeway walking. That's how much I would want to play with Joe.
Yeah, and let alone, you know, despite the fact that even playing with Joe and aside guys like T and Jamar, like when I tell you this entire team is like, bro, this whole team is amazing. Like, every person I met, every vet I met was completely just welcoming and, you know, just instantly just took me in and was like, you know, what's good? Like, we know we happy to have you. Let's work. Let's this, that. And, you know, honestly, I didn't expect that. Like, because, you know, going into the league, you expect some vets to like try to like on some freshman year of college type deal. Like, and it was like, bro, it was the complete opposite. Like, so I've got nothing but complete different vibes from everybody. So I'm cool with some vets now. You know, we've exchanged numbers. We've talked about some certain things. And bro, I didn't expect that, not one bit at all. I'm expecting some vets to even just walk by like, yeah. Like, I'm like, man, but I ain't getting none of that. I'm walking by vets. I'm like, he not finna say nothing. It was good, little bro. Like this and that. If you need anything, holler at me. I'm like, what? I'm like, bet. Like, okay, cool. So, bro, everything and stuff like that. Because the more comfortable I am with my team, bro, the more comfortable I am playing. So, and especially after knowing everybody's why. So I feel like it's different from when you want to feel with these guys, when you get to know their why too and why they're playing and what their motive is, you know, it's a different feeling because now you know why they're playing. Now you know that you got to stay on them too, because now you know their situation. So now you know that whatever, this going on, they came from this, they came from that. So now you know that you can push them from a certain limit now instead of just being like, okay, that's just my teammate. Like, cool. Like, no, I know your why. So even if I see you slipping up, or even if I see you not this, and that, I can get on you because I know your motive now. And it's like, I know how bad you want this and I know how bad you need it. So it's a complete difference in that. And that makes a big difference for me as well. So I've connected with this team in ways I didn't think I was going to, and at so early. And, you know, even though it's still so early, but, you know, this is exactly the path I visioned I wanted to take, but I just didn't expect it. So everything's great.
TJ, when you announced the pick, you said this pick means something to me. Are you invested in his success in Cincinnati?
He knows that. Like, listen, me and Maine have had conversations like prior to the draft. Like, I had a couple people call me and say, listen, I know you're training Jermaine. This is what we've heard. And I'm not going to go into the team and I'm not going to go into what was said to me. And we had a conversation with this team I did, and I kind of told them who I believe Jermaine is as a person. And what they were saying, whether it was right or wrong. And so I told Maine this, like, listen, you write your own story. People can say this or that. You write your own story. And, at times the conversation wasn't a smooth conversation because Jermaine's a man and I'm a man. And, we may disagree at times. It's always going to remain respectful, but, the tone may raise here or there. And we had a conversation. And so when I said that, it meant something because we had just had this conversation about what people perceive you to be. Whether you agree with them or not, perception is reality, but you can change that perception. And I'm going to try to help you change that perception. And for it to be with the Bengals, it was like, well, this is even better. And so that probably was it. Like, I grew up a Cowboys fan. I'm not a Cowboys fan. Like, the Bengals are my favorite team. That's who I root for. And so I can root for the team that I root for now and really, really, really genuinely want to see Maine succeed because he's with a team that I root for and I personally know him.
So it's no secret. Some of the things that were out there before the draft, temperamental, maybe some maturity issues, things along those lines. Have you specifically tried to help Jermaine with that stuff?
We talk about, like, aren't we all temperamental? Really?
Sure.
Let's just be honest. Everybody's temperamental. Who is just even keeled at all times? And so I don't want an athlete that doesn't care. Can we harness, that? Can we control that? If you can play sports at a high level, at some point in time, you have to be able to control yourself. So he can do that. And so I want somebody that cares. I want somebody when things aren't going the way they anticipate them to go. I want it to bother you. Now, you can't let it control you, but it should bother you. And so I didn't see that with him. And when I train guys, I talk to them crazy. I don't disrespect them, but I kind of talk to them kind of crazy.
Keep it real for sure.
He's never approached me that way. And so it was, when teams do that, it's kind of disheartening because you're affecting somebody's future. If you don't want to draft a kid, just don't draft him. But it's funny. I met with a team not too long ago, and I said, "Man, this sounds really crazy and it's really cocky, but it's not." And Maine knows this from the guys. There's not one guy that I've trained that hasn't gone to the league and done very, very well. Not just okay. Everybody that I've trained has done very, very well. Eventually, I'm going to get that one. But as of now, I'm batting 1,000. And it's really not me. It's the kids that I'm training are just so good. They make me look good.
So, Jermaine, if my math is correct, you were 6 years old when TJ set the Bengals record for most catches in a season and went to the Pro Bowl, 112 catches in one season. Did you know anything about his career when you two guys started working together?
Yeah, I knew quite a lot because, him and Ocho, two really great receivers. And, it was so much online about everything. And I used to see so many kind of videos and all kinds of stuff from practice to game film and to interviews. And even after I got training with them and stuff like that, like I go home sometimes and I even look up some stuff. Like I want to know more and see more. And, it was just funny because after everything I'm like looking up and after seeing the kind of player that he was, it just matched up with him so perfectly. I was like, bro, everything I'm seeing right now just matches him. And it was just funny to see because when you're working out with TJ, when we're just training, we're not just everything. It's not always just football. It's not always just, we're not just doing straight drills. In between that, we tend to take about 5 to 10 minutes and we'll talk real life sometimes. And, it's always good, hearing coming from TJ because TJ's been through a lot and he knows a lot. He knows a lot of people. So it's always some knowledge that TJ drops on you other than football when training with him. So, and it's a lot of stuff that we have shared and told to and spoke on, but I'll leave that to the exclusiveness of just knowing TJ, because that's just, that's just how he is. And so it's a lot of stuff that, he's put me on game to and told me and this and this and that I'll never share, because like I said, I just leave that up to the exclusiveness of knowing him and training with him. So, everything is just appreciated from him. And, we still have a lot of work to put in, tons of work to put in. And, it was really just a connection from the jump, because I really noticed that TJ really cared about, what was even being said, and all the like how he said, how we had those conversations, and how he did come to me. And I still remember that day, when I came there and he was, telling me what was being told about me, and, everything, and what was being shared. And the next thing he said after that was, I'm going to help you fix that. And like, literally just like that. And, we had another conversation after that, and that conversation really went far with me, because it hit me differently, because you know how well-connected TJ is. So when he's telling you something like this, regardless if you like it or not, it's true. So regardless of how I felt about it, and regardless of what was being said, it was 100% true. So I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm taking everything in. I'm finna listen to exactly what he's saying, and I'm gonna see where it takes me. And it changed me a lot. And like I said, that's appreciated. And I'm blessed to even work with TJ and to know him and have a relationship with him. And
That
this
was
is
a
a
good workout that day, man, because it was you, it was Rome, Adunze.
Yeah.
We had it was a good
Yeah,
workout that day, by the way. It was.
It was a good workout too. We put in some work. Oh yeah. But no, it's always good work, man. But yeah, dude, that day specifically meant a lot to me, because that was the day that, because after he told me all of that, his next words was, I'm gonna help you fix that. Like, we gonna fix that. Like, and that's exactly what happened. So it's all good.
I can hear in your voice that you appreciate somebody who shoots you straight.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want somebody to sugarcoat things, right?
Yeah, no, especially in the manner of, this is what it is. Boom, 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 boom. Now we're fixing it. Not this, nah, fam, this is what's being said. This is what we doing to fix it. Like, and that was just that. And that's how TJ is with everything he talks about. Like, he shoots it straight to you. And, it makes it easier, regardless if you like it or not. And I feel like the part that really helps you more is how he shoots it to you, because a lot of people could bring something to you and they could say it and go around this curve and about how they do it. With TJ, it hits you differently because of how straight up it is. So it strikes you more, and it's like, it makes you think about it more. It doesn't make you think about like, oh, it's still okay, it's all good, like, it's not that bad. Like, nah, it's like, bro, this is what's being said. Like, this is your future, this is your career. Like, do you want to be looked at as this? Do you want this? Like, okay, so no, we got to change this. Like, and that was the moment where I really accepted at the fact that what was being told and what was being said about me, it might not have been true to myself, but at the end of the day, if this is how people view you, this is what you're gonna be viewed as. So regardless of if I was like, man, it's not true, I don't care, that's not me, bro. It's like, fam, like, what are you just gonna do to fix it? So something, it's a bullet you got to bite, and change it, regardless if it's true or not. And that was a maturing step I took, because like I said, no matter what, you just perception is the reality. So
TJ, I told Jermaine recently that when I watched his college film, he reminded me of former Panthers and Ravens wide receiver Steve Smith. The physicality, when the ball's in the air, it belongs to him. The toughness. Do you like it, or is there a better comp?
That's, Steve is a little more compact. Maine's a lot taller than Steve, a lot taller. But the toughness, yeah, because Steve ain't no punking Steve at all. And then you ain't punking Maine either. And so the personality aspect of it, yes. The explosiveness, yes. It's really hard to receivers are better, man. Like when you try to start comparing receivers of today to receivers back in the day, the receivers are just better. They're bigger, they're faster, they're better route runners, they're quicker, they know more. And so it's hard to really compare. Now you can, the physical traits, yeah. The explosiveness, yes, I can see that. The personality of when the game starts, I'm gonna talk my shit, and it don't matter if you want to talk back, then it is what it is. But I'm not backing down for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And so that perspective of it with him and Steve and the explosiveness, yeah. Route running a little different just because of the body types.
Right.
But as I'm saying this, I'm actually trying to think of who I could compare Jermaine to. Give me some time. It's going to take some time for me to kind of figure that one out.
It'll come to you at some point. I want to circle back to what you were saying earlier, TJ, about Jermaine having the opportunity to begin his career with Joe Burrow as his quarterback. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, also part of the wide receiver crew. Your breakout season in the NFL was your 4th year when Carson Palmer got his chance to be the starting quarterback. Suddenly, your stats jumped through the roof. Do we underestimate the impact of, having to have a guy like that for a wide receiver to take off?
I mean, I think it's mutually beneficial to both. When I go back to my career, I was hurt a lot my first 3 years in the league, hamstring and groins my first 3 years. And then Marvin was like, you get hurt again. He didn't say it in these words, but basically you get hurt again, your ass is gone. And so I had to figure something out. And it just so happened to coincide that I got Peter Ward broke his leg. And when Doug broke his leg, I got an opportunity to play, and the rest is history. But a quarterback, it helps. But to me, football is the ultimate team game. When you have 11 guys and then everybody's relying on each other, you have to have everybody doing their job at a high level. If the O-line don't block, does it matter who the quarterback and the receiver are? No. If I drop the ball, does it matter that the O-line block well? If I'm open, the quarterback makes a bad throw or he makes a great throw on it. I mean, everything has to work perfectly in a game of football just to have a successful play. And you want to do that snap after snap after snap. And so between Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and Josh Allen, you can mix and match however. Those are the top 3 quarterbacks in the league. If you can go into the league with one of those 3 as your quarterback, you're winning. You're winning. And so for Jermaine, he has a chance to change his family's fortune through the game of football. And he has a head start, a bigger head start than a lot of others because you got Joe as your quarterback. And so my job to help him is to maximize that because the game of football is going to enable him to put his family in a position they've never been in. And I'm going to be on his ass to make sure he don't f that up.
So, Jermaine, I've noticed in the first few practices that we've been allowed to watch, when the quarterbacks come out to warm up, the 4 quarterbacks are off to the side before the team stretches even, you always catch Joe Burrow's passes. His idea? Your idea? How did that come about? And is there something to it?
Honestly, it's kind of funny because usually we'll go out there, the rookies will go out there and we'll do like a few drills before the rest of the guys come out. So I noticed that on a certain time, so we get out there at 10:50. I still don't know the exact time Joe and the other quarterbacks come out, but I know it's around the time that when we finish these drills, about like 3 to 5 minutes later, the quarterbacks are walking out and they start warming up. So I was like, bro, every time I see 9 walk on the field, I'm warming up with. I'm the one that's catching this pass. And bro, because the ones that was catching the passes were the equipment guys. So I'm like, and the equipment guys will put on gloves and they'll stand right now. And I'm like, hold on, I'm the receiver. I'm like, bro, hold on, I got you, gang. Like, I got it. So yeah, I made it a standard to myself. As soon as I see 9 step on the field to warm up, I'll warm up with them.
When you hear that, TJ, what do you think?
Smart. You want that quarterback to feel comfortable throwing you the ball. I mean, it's very simple. And so the sooner you can get that feeling of comfort and that trust, it's more of a trust thing. And the crazy thing is with Jamar and T not being there, you're gonna build up trust a lot faster than you normally would. And so for his talent his talent is gonna carry it. You see that, you see the explosiveness, you see the size. Now it's building the trust of the quarterback, of the coaches, and and everybody else, your teammates. Once you start to do that, now we're starting to run downhill instead of working uphill.
Jermaine, I'm glad you mentioned coming out early because I've noticed that as well. It's you and Cole Burgess, undrafted wide receiver from SUNY Cortland, where Dan Pitcher went to college. You two guys are out early every single time with the wide receivers coach, Troy Walters. It looks like working on your releases. Is that what you're getting extra work on?
Yeah. Also, I look at it as just more of a warm up. You know, I'm a rookie. I want to go into every practice already ready. I want to go into every practice like as soon as something happens, I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready to go. So yeah, we work on releases. Yeah, we work on this. We work on that. We work on some catching. But more so the fact, to me, it's just more of the move around before we actually start practice. Because whenever practice do start, I don't want to make it look like I'm starting. Like I don't want to make it look like I'm just now starting. Like I want to make it seem like I'm already like I've been moving. Like so when we doing whatever, like I just want to be ready to go at all times. And I just want to show them that, I'm just a guy that's ready to go, from a energy standpoint, from a just mindset standpoint. I'm ready for whatever. So, that's why I'm able to just hurry up and just go over there as soon as Joe comes out and just catch passes from him, even though it's like 20 passes or 15 passes, like, bro, whatever, how many ever passes he needs to warm up, because sometimes he needs 15, sometimes he'll get 20, like, so whatever, I don't care, I need it all. It don't matter if it's soft little 5-yard passes, like, bro, you see me right here, we good, like, and I'll just throw it back, and that's just how it goes. So and that has kind of actually built a better connection between me and him, because as we've exchanged words in between those moments. But yeah, and I feel like day by day, I feel like he's gotten more comfortable with explaining stuff to me. The first few days, it was just, us getting a feel of through me running routes and through how he throws. Now is, okay, on this route, if you get a man right here, if you get man on this play, try to wrap him before you break out. Like now it's becoming that. And rather than let me see how this dude runs routes and let me see how I can throw to him, or let me see how he throws the ball, we got that. I know how he likes to throw the ball now. I know what kind of quarterback he is now. So now that we got that fill out the way, now is all right. Now we're into the playbook standpoint of how he likes stuff and how he does things. And he's a real detailed quarterback and a timing quarterback. Joe doesn't need to throw bullet passes because he's so detailed on timing that from split to depth to coverages, that he's so detailed on timing that the ball is going to just be there based off timing. So he could throw it just how he could throw a perfect grab up, like just pluckable ball, rather than having to just hurry up and squeeze something in like a bullet. If the timing works out great, then it doesn't have to be a bullet pass. It's just boom, goes through his progression, step, drop back, whatever, boom. And yeah, he's amazing, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He's wired different, and it's crazy. It's crazy. I can't lie to you.
Couple more questions before we wrap this up. You've had this relationship with TJ now for 4 years, but in recent weeks, you've started a former relationship with Chad Johnson as well. Has that added to your feeling of connectivity to the Bengals franchise?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because before he came out to practice, the day before, I was on a scooter. I went to Kroger because Kroger be selling, like, got like this little chicken and this it's already heated up for you. You can just grab it and like, feel me, and go. So I went up there before a bed check, like it was like 7 or something like that. So I'm like, I hopped on a little bird scooter, went up to the Kroger, and then I'm on my way back. And like, as I'm pulling up to the hotel, I see him standing by this car. I'm like, who is this? Like who is who standing next to this Rolls Royce? Like, I'm like, then he turned around and he was like, what's up, baby? He was like, a pleasure, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. This, that. I'm like, man, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Like, what's good, Brody? Like, and then we chopped it up. He was telling about his soccer tournament. He down here competing for a soccer tournament for $1 million. And he takes soccer real serious, bro. He's hilarious. I thought it was crazy meeting him in person. He told me he was gonna be at practice the next day. So I came home, I made sure I put my jersey in my bag, and I was like, getting that thing signed tomorrow. So, but no, yeah, it was great. Ocho hopped in there and did a couple drills with us, and yeah, it was great. That practice was amazing. I didn't take that for granted. I was enjoying the moment because I thought that was a moment for me.
TJ, did his voice just sound like Chad to you? It did to me.
A little bit. When Maine got drafted, Chad literally he called me. He was like, "So you training? Tell me about him." Like he wanted, no BS. He called me and was like, "Tell me about him." So we actually got on the phone, and I was kind of telling Chad about Maine. And so, I mean, Chad, at least this is me. When you think of the Bengals, you think of a few people. The first person you think of is Chad. When you say the Cincinnati Bengals, everybody is going to think Chad first. And so when I think Cincinnati or anybody says the Bengals, they always think Chad. I don't call Chad Ocho because I can't do that. I call him, other people will refer to him as Ocho. But you think Chad, and then you probably think me. And so that to me, when Maine got caught, he called me, "Tell me about him." And so then for Maine, the meeting, we both gonna try to give him all we can give him. I'll spend a lot more time with Maine and Chad will, but I'm gonna try, like this summer, this is probably gonna be one of our best summers of training because of what I got planned, the things that we're gonna do. A lot of one-on-ones, a lot of 7-on-7 with a lot of NFL guys to just make sure we ready to go and we locked in for when training camp comes around.
What is your biggest piece of advice for Jermaine for his rookie year in the NFL?
Oh, that's very simple, man. Effort. We can always control that. Always control the effort we give. We may not like the results or what comes from it, but we always give it our all. If we give it our all, we walk out with our heads held high.
I love it. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you guys taking time to do this with me. I know Bengals fans are really going to enjoy it. Jermaine, we're so excited to have you in Cincinnati being part of this franchise. And if you have TJ Houshmandzadeh's stamp of approval, which you obviously do, then we know the Cincinnati Bengals got a great wide receiver in this year's draft.
Yes, sir.